guys, I'm going to give you a quick little review for just because this movie was so damn good that I felt like I had to shout it at the mountaintop. And I haven't really had the time to sit down and review it. I might review it. I don't know. But Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. This is not a horror movie. It's an American movie filmed by an Asian filmmaker, and I believe it's 2 directors. I had heard some buzz about it. It looked interesting. Asian cinema is always interesting. Yeah, the directors are Daniel Kwan and Daniel Shiner. It has to do with like multiverses, and a lot of times Asian cinema plots can get a little strange, and sometimes they don't like spelling things out for people. There's a heavy level of ambiguity to Asian cinema at times. This movie, I'd say it's no different in the fact that it is the layout of the movie, the editing of the movie is completely insane, like bonkers. That, like, from a filmmaking standpoint, this movie is like so damn jaw-dropping. Okay, it really is. This is the type of movie that if you want to go and watch a cheeseburger movie, this is not your movie. But if you want to go and watch cinema, like just to be dazzled. And not boring. This movie is everything but boring, okay? I'm not saying this is like, boring shit. There's almost like too much coming at you with this movie. It's insanity. But Michelle Yeoh is the main character. And really, at the end of the day, her character's name is Evelyn. And at the end of the day, this is really about happiness and about family. And, no matter how much money you have, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy. And so she is living this mundane life. She's operating this laundromat. And then all of a sudden, she gets thrust into this like multiverse concept with this character by the name of Waymond, who is played by Ki Hu Kwan, who was Short Round in Temple of Doom. Who is amazing, by the way. Oh my God, his voice is still pretty much the same too. Look at it this way. There's a multiverse, and just imagine that there's limitless. There could be thousands of different versions of you out there, okay? And the farther out they get, the more strange and outlandish and hot dog fingers it can get, okay? Look at it that way. So closer in you get, the more contained it is. Farther out you get, Asian cinema. All right? Like fucking crazy. And they explore all that. This movie's broken into like 3 different parts, and all of it's like fucking amazing. But what I think the best movies, no matter how ambitious they get, as long as there's a central message there that is relatable, then it can work. And this movie does that so freaking well. Like, guys, I will admit, I cried at the end of this movie. Okay, I cry, and I haven't cried at the end of a movie in a long, long time, because this movie at the end of the day is about a family that's going through struggles. There's a lesson that's learned throughout all this crazy chaos, and yeah, it's such a great message, and it's just a beautiful movie. But going into like the action of the movie, it's like insane, like kung fu cinema. Some of this reminded me of The Matrix, if I'm being honest. How I know kung fu. Michelle Yeoh, Evelyn, her character, different versions of her. One of them could be like this big Hollywood starlet. One of them could be, this martial arts expert. There's just one of them like could be a cook. A different career path for like every character, and she can like channel aspects of like all that in some of the scenes, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. This movie's so freaking insane. The action is very creative. There's scenes where like the character Waymond, he uses his fanny pack to beat the shit out of people. But at the end of the day, it's not really about the action, even though that stuff is like top notch and next level. But the whole movie, man, guys, I'm telling you, go to your theater, run to your theater and watch this movie. It's an experience. It's wonderful. And I was just blown away. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot to process. And some movies, especially movies as ambitious as this, can be a lot to process. And you might need a couple days to kind of. But I saw it yesterday, and I can't stop thinking about it. And that's a great thing. It's just and I was just marked like next year's Oscars. This movie should be, and I'm sure it'll be nominated. But in editing, if this movie doesn't win an editing award, I will be flabbergasted. Okay, because the editing in this is completely insane, and just like some of the scenes, I'm just like, God, that little segment, that little like freaking 30-second segment of editing that has like 1,000 cuts. You can see the labor and the pain in the editing bay that must have went on. Like editors, I don't think get enough credit a lot of times. You know, they're kind of just passed over, but man, it's undeniable in this. So yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once, guys. It's like 2.5 hours, but man, it's a movie that people are going to be talking about for years, I think. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it too, actually. She does play a pretty major character. I won't really spoil anything, but I think the big star here was Michelle Yeoh. She was flat out amazing. I enjoyed her and her husband like the most in the movie. Okay.